Lee Grant is a name that resonates with resilience, talent, and groundbreaking achievements in Hollywood. From her early days as a gifted actress to her rise as an acclaimed director, she overcame personal and professional obstacles, including being blacklisted during the McCarthy-era. Known for her compelling performances in Peyton Place, Shampoo, and In the Heat of the Night, Grant proved her versatility time and again. But beyond the glamour, her life was marked by struggles, triumphs, and an unyielding determination to break barriers. This is the remarkable and sometimes heartbreaking story of Lee Grant, a star who refused to be silenced. Lee Grant was born Leova Haskell Rosenthal in Manhattan, the only child of Wheatia, née Haskell, a child care worker, and Abraham W. Rosenthal, a realtor and educator. Her father was a New York native born to Polish Jewish immigrants, while her mother was a Russian Jewish immigrant who, along with her sister Frimo, fled Odessa to escape the pogroms. The family lived in Hamilton Heights at 148th Street and Riverside Drive in Manhattan. Her birth date is October 31st, but the exact year remains disputed. Over time, various sources have listed years ranging from 1925 to 1931 as her birth year. However, census records, travel documents, and personal testimony suggest she was likely born in 1925 or 1926, while her reported age at the time of her professional debut and first Oscar nomination points to 1927. Grant's first stage appearance came in 1931 when she performed in Loricolo at the Metropolitan Opera. As a young dancer, she later joined the American Ballet. She pursued a diverse arts education, attending the Art Students League of New York, Juilliard School of Music, the High School of Music and Art, and George Washington High School, all in New York City. After graduating high school, Grant earned a scholarship to study at the neighborhood Playhouse School of the Theater, where she trained under Sanford Meisner. She further refined her craft under Uta Hagen at the HB Studio, and later became a member of the prestigious Actors Studio in New York, where she continued honing her skills as an actress. Lee Grant's early years in the performing arts began with ballet. In 1933, she had her first stage ballet performance at the Metropolitan Opera House, and by 1938, still in her early teens, she was accepted into the American Ballet under the legendary George Balanchine. Her transition to acting came in 1944 when she made her professional stage debut as an understudy in Oklahoma on Broadway. 4 years later, in 1948, she officially debuted on Broadway in Joy to the World. Establishing herself as a powerful method actress, she earned critical acclaim in 1949 for her breakthrough role as a shoplifter in Detective Story, performed both on and off Broadway. 2 years later, she reprised her role in the 1951 film adaptation of Detective Story, starring opposite Kirk Douglas. The film brought her immediate recognition, earning her an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress and the Best Actress Award at the Cannes Film Festival. She later credited director William Wyler for his guidance and influence, saying she thrived under his direction. However, just as her career was on the rise, Grant's world came crashing down. At what should have been the peak of her success, she found herself barred from Hollywood, a ban that lasted for 12 years, an eternity for any actor. The trouble began in 1951 when she delivered an emotional eulogy at the memorial service for actor J. Edward Bromberg, who had been targeted by the House Un-American Activities Committee, HUAC. Grant implied that the pressure of being blacklisted had contributed to his early death. Soon after, her name appeared in Red Channels, a publication that exposed alleged communist sympathizers in the entertainment industry. The fallout was immediate. Her acting career came to a standstill, and for the next 12 years, she was blacklisted from television and film, losing what she later described as her prime years as an actress. Kirk Douglas, who starred alongside Lee Grant in Detective Story, later reflected on the unfair circumstances that derailed her career. He recalled that director Edward Dmytryk, who had himself been blacklisted, had named Grant's husband before the House Un-American Activities Committee, HUAC, sealing her fate. Lee was just a kid, a beautiful young actress with incredible talent and a promising future. You could see it. She was so good that she earned a Best Supporting Actress nomination for her very first film role. But because Eddie Dmytryk named her husband, Lee Grant was blacklisted before her film career even had a chance to begin. She refused to testify against the man she was married to, and it took years before anyone in Hollywood would hire her again. During her blacklisted years, Grant managed to find sporadic work in theater and television, though her opportunities were severely limited. She appeared in a handful of plays, 2 feature films, and a few minor TV roles. In 1953, she played Rose Peabody in the soap opera Search for Tomorrow, one of her few ongoing television roles during that time. She also took on supporting roles in film dramas, appearing in Storm Fear, 1955, and Middle of the Night, 1959. On stage, she found one of her most significant roles when she starred in the Broadway production of Two for the Seesaw. In 1959, she took over the lead female role from Anne Bancroft, marking a major theatrical achievement for Grant. That same year, she also appeared in the romantic drama Middle of the Night, continuing to quietly build her career despite the ongoing blacklist that kept her from achieving the success she had once been promised. By the time Lee Grant's name was finally cleared from the Hollywood blacklist in the mid-1960s, she had spent more than a decade in professional exile, forced to take small theater roles and occasional television appearances just to stay afloat. Now a divorced mother, she carried the sole responsibility of raising her daughter Dinah while trying to rebuild the career that had been unjustly stripped from her. The blacklist had stolen what she later called her prime years as an actress, but it had also fueled a deep sense of determination. She was not going to let the industry forget her. In her autobiography, Grant later wrote about this period with a mix of grief and fury, describing how her love for Dinah and her outrage at those who had silenced her gave her the strength to keep fighting. Dinah was my grail, my constant. Nothing and no one could get between us. Dinah and my need to support her financially, morally, viscerally, and my rage at those who had taken 12 working, acting years from my life were what motivated me. Even after returning to Hollywood, the emotional scars of the blacklist never fully faded. As late as 2002, Grant admitted that any mention of the McCarthy-era would send her into a near trance, a sign of how deeply the ordeal had shaped her life. But rather than letting it consume her, she used that pain as fuel to relaunch her career with renewed intensity. Once she was able to work freely again, Grant wasted no time reclaiming her place in the industry. Her first major breakthrough after the blacklist came when she was cast as Stella Chernak in the hit 1960s television series Peyton Place. Her performance captivated audiences, and in 1966 she was awarded an Emmy for Outstanding Performance by an Actress in a supporting role. The win was a turning point, signaling that she was not just making a comeback, she was here to stay. At the same time, she was rebuilding her reputation on stage. In 1963, she took on the role of Solange in Jean Genet's off-Broadway play, The Maids, earning critical acclaim for her intensity and depth. These performances helped remind Hollywood of her talent, and soon film roles followed. In 1967, Grant made her triumphant return to cinema with a gripping performance in the Academy Award-winning drama In the Heat of the Night. Playing a grieving widow, seeking justice for her murdered husband, she brought a raw emotional power to the screen. The film was both a commercial and critical success, marking her official re-entry into Hollywood's elite circles. A year later, in 1968, Grant expanded into television dramas, guest starring in an episode of Mission Impossible, where she played the wife of a U.S. diplomat who goes undercover to take down a rogue agent. Though a single episode role, it was yet another sign that her versatility as an actress remained intact. By 1969, Grant was once again securing roles in major feature films, including the crime thriller The Big Bounce and the sci-fi drama Marooned. Unfortunately, both films underperformed at the box office, failing to deliver the level of success she had hoped for. Yet, rather than letting the setbacks discourage her, Grant kept pushing forward. In the 1970s, Lee Grant cemented her status as a powerhouse actress, earning 3 Academy Award nominations for her roles in The Landlord, 1970, Shampoo, 1975, and Voyage of the Damned, 1976. She also showcased her comedic talent in Arthur Hiller's film adaptation of Neil Simon's Plaza Suite, 1971, where she played the frazzled mother of a bride opposite Walter Matthau as the father. The film was a box office success, further proving Grant's versatility in both comedy and drama. In March 1971, Grant made a memorable television appearance in the pilot episode of Columbo, titled Ransom for a Dead Man, playing the cunning murderer opposite Peter Falk's Lieutenant Columbo. Her performance earned her an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Miniseries or Movie. That same year, she received another Emmy nomination, this time for Outstanding Single Performance by an actress in a leading role, for her work in the television drama The Neon Ceiling, which she ultimately won. Her collaboration with Peter Falk continued beyond television when she joined him on Broadway, starring in the original production of Neil Simon's The Prisoner of Second Avenue. Playwright Neil Simon later revealed that Grant was his first and only choice for the role, praising her ability to move seamlessly between dramatic roles and sharp comedic performances. He admired how she could be as natural and compelling in Chekhov as she was in a light-hearted script, calling her ability to balance humor and honesty one of her greatest strengths. In 1975, Grant's career reached a new pinnacle when she won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her performance in Shampoo, playing the older lover of Warren Beatty's character. The film became Columbia Pictures' highest-grossing release in its 50-year history, further solidifying her reputation. Shampoo also marked her second collaboration with director Hal Ashby, who had previously directed her in The Landlord. However, her time on set wasn't without conflict. Grant clashed with Beatty, who was both the star and producer, over how to play a particular scene. She believed her character's emotions needed to be portrayed more realistically from a woman's perspective, but Beatty disagreed. Frustrated, she seriously considered quitting the film. After days of reflection, she told director Hal Ashby that she refused to do the scene the way Beatty wanted and was ready to walk away from the project. As she was leaving, Beatty stopped her, asking what was wrong. Grant explained her concerns, to which Beatty threw up his hands and admitted, "Play it your way. What do I know? I'm a man." The confrontation ended in mutual respect, and Grant delivered a performance that would win her the industry's highest honor. Despite her continued success in film and television, Grant began to feel increasingly insecure about her future in Hollywood, especially as she approached her 50s. In her memoir, she reflected on the deep anxiety she faced as an aging actress in an industry that valued youth above all else. I was becoming my own worst enemy as an actor, traumatized on stage and fixated on staying young so I could keep working in film. A woman of a certain age does not play in movies or TV. We're kicked to the side or out. And I was a woman of a certain age, terrified I'd be found out and unemployed again. In 1975, Grant took on a new challenge, starring in the sitcom Faye during the 1975-76 television season. However, the series struggled to find an audience and was canceled after just 8 episodes. A disappointing outcome for Grant, who had hoped the role would bring more long-term stability to her career. Still, she remained a sought-after actress, appearing in several high-profile films. In 1977, she joined the ensemble cast of the disaster movie Airport 77, followed by a lead role in the 1978 horror sequel Damien, Omen 2, alongside William Holden. While both films received negative reviews, they were commercially successful, proving that Grant could still draw audiences to the box office. Around this time, she also made a guest appearance in the sitcom Empty Nest, where she had the unique opportunity to share the screen with her daughter, Dinah Manoff, who was one of the show's stars. By the late 1970s, Grant began exploring new creative avenues, feeling a growing desire to step behind the camera. She was invited by the American Film Institute, AFI, to participate in the inaugural AFI Directing Workshop for Women, a groundbreaking initiative aimed at creating more opportunities for female directors. During the program, she successfully transitioned into directing, making her directorial debut in 1976 with an adaptation of August Strindberg's play, The Stronger. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in her career, one that would soon lead her into the world of documentary and television filmmaking. In 1980, Lee Grant took a bold step into directing, making her feature film debut with Tell Me a Riddle, a moving drama about an aging Jewish couple. While her transition into filmmaking was a natural evolution of her career, she quickly established herself as a director with a strong focus on social justice issues. Her first widely recognized documentary, The Wilmar 8, followed 8 female bank employees in Wilmar, Minnesota, who went on strike to protest gender-based pay inequities. Grant continued to tackle important social topics in her documentaries, often amplifying the voices of marginalized and overlooked communities. In 1983, she directed When Women Kill, an exploration of women in prison who had committed violent crimes. In 1985, What Sex Am I? Broke ground by examining the experiences of transgender individuals. She later addressed domestic violence in Battered, 1989, and the challenges women face in custody battles in Women on Trial, 1992. Her work in documentary filmmaking reached a career milestone in 1986, when she directed Down and Out in America, a hard-hitting film about homelessness, unemployment, and struggling farm workers. The project earned her an Academy Award for Best Documentary Feature, cementing her reputation as a fearless storyteller. That same year, she directed the television drama Nobody's Child, starring Marlo Thomas as a woman who had spent 2 decades confined in a mental institution. Her work on the film made history, as she became the first female director to win a Directors Guild of America award. Despite her growing success behind the camera, Grant remained active as an actress. In 1982, she starred in an HBO remake of Plaza Suite alongside Jerry Orbach, with both actors playing 3 different characters across 3 acts in a live performance setting. In 1987, she appeared in The Big Town alongside Bruce Dern, who later praised her talent, saying, "Lee Grant is a fabulous actress. Anytime she works, it's a blessing to have her in your movie." Her contributions to film and television did not go unnoticed. In 1988, Grant was honored with the Women in Film Crystal Award, recognizing her endurance and excellence in expanding opportunities for women in the entertainment industry. Her work as both an actress and director continued to inspire younger generations, earning her respect as a trailblazer in Hollywood. Even as a director, Grant's reputation attracted top-tier talent. Academy Award-winning actress Sissy Spacek was so eager to work with her that she signed on for the romantic comedy Hard Promises, 1991, specifically because Grant was attached to direct. However, Grant was later replaced during production, preventing what could have been another major directorial achievement for her. In 1992, she returned to acting in the critically acclaimed made-for-TV film Citizen Cone, portraying Dora Cone, the mother of notorious attorney Roy Cohn. Her performance earned her yet another Primetime Emmy nomination, reaffirming her enduring talent in front of the camera. 2 years later, in 1994, she directed the television drama Seasons of the Heart, starring Carol Burnett and George Segal, further solidifying her multifaceted legacy as both a director and performer. In 2001, Lee Grant made a notable return to the big screen, taking on the role of Louise Bonner in David Lynch's critically acclaimed film, Mulholland Drive. The movie, known for its surreal narrative, psychological depth, and dreamlike atmosphere, was widely praised by critics and became a landmark film of modern cinema. Grant's performance, though brief, added to the film's mystique, further demonstrating her ability to leave a lasting impression with even the smallest of roles. Her appearance in Mulholland Drive also served as a reminder of her versatility, proving that even after decades in the industry, she could seamlessly adapt to bold, unconventional projects. From 2004 to 2007, Grant took on an influential leadership role at the Actors Studio, serving as co-artistic director alongside Carlin Glynn and Stephen Lang. Her appointment reflected her deep roots in the acting world and her commitment to fostering new talent. The Actors Studio, renowned for its rigorous approach to method acting, was the same institution where Grant had trained early in her career. Now she was in a position to help guide the next generation of performers, shaping the craft of young actors as she had once been shaped herself. During this period, she also continued her work as a documentarian, directing episodes of Intimate Portrait for Lifetime Television. This documentary series celebrated the lives and careers of accomplished women, highlighting their struggles, triumphs, and contributions across various fields. Through these projects, Grant once again used her platform to elevate the stories of women, showcasing her ongoing dedication to social issues and gender equality in the entertainment industry. After nearly 40 years away from the stage, Grant made a brief but meaningful return to live theater in 2013, performing in a one-night benefit staging of The Gin Game on Bainbridge Island, Washington. She played Fancia Dorsey, opposite Frank Buxton as Weller Martin, in a production directed by her daughter, Dinah Manoff. This performance was deeply personal, allowing Grant to reconnect with her theatrical roots while collaborating with her daughter in a meaningful artistic moment. Following a 14-year absence from acting, Grant returned to the screen in 2020, appearing in the indie film Killian and the Comeback Kids, directed by Taylor A. Purdie. Though her role was small, it was a testament to her enduring passion for storytelling and her willingness to support independent cinema. Even in her later years, Grant continued to find ways to engage with the art form that had defined her life. Her groundbreaking work as a documentarian in the 1980s and 1990s was formally recognized in 2020 when the American Film Institute, AFI, honored her at the AFI docks at the Guggenheim Symposium. As part of this tribute, a special program titled 20th Century Woman, the documentary films of Lee Grant, was showcased at AFI Silver and virtual cinemas across the country. This event marked the first ever virtual repertory film series in the U.S., reinforcing Grant's impact as a filmmaker who used her craft to address pressing social issues. By 2022, Grant had solidified her place in history as the only Academy Award-winning actor to also direct an Academy Award-winning documentary, a rare achievement that highlights her exceptional versatility. Throughout her career, she had navigated both triumph and adversity, leaving a lasting impact on both narrative and documentary filmmaking. In January 2024, Grant was honored at the New York Film Festival, where her first 2 directed films were featured in the Revivals program. She also participated in a panel discussion hosted by Turner Classic Movies, reflecting on her trailblazing directing career and the challenges she faced in breaking barriers for women in film. Even in her later years, Grant remains an influential figure in cinema, her work continuing to resonate with new generations of filmmakers and audiences alike. Lee Grant's career is a testament to perseverance, talent, and an unwavering spirit. Despite facing Hollywood's harshest challenges, she rebuilt her career, leaving an indelible mark on film and television both in front of and behind the camera. As an actress and director, she not only entertained audiences but also paved the way for future generations of women in the industry. What are your favorite Lee Grant performances? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoy deep dives into Hollywood's most fascinating figures, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out more stories of legendary stars who shaped entertainment history